What up, brothers? Y'all already know what it is. Pro Truth in the building. You know what I'm saying? So, brothers, let me y'all see the title. Are Black American men ready to deal with more than one headache? All right, brothers. So I'm no expert when it comes to poly relationships at all. But I've always said this all the time that a man can have more than one woman as long as he does it in order. So if you're reckless out here, it ain't gonna work. And in my personal opinion, I don't believe that black American men are ready to be in any type of polyamorous relationship. I'm only saying that because it's fairly new to a lot of brothers here in America. So, or at least to the American man, because we've all had been in the mindset that we should only be with one woman, and that's it. If you're married, you should only have one woman. So it's just like the Middle East wasn't really introduced to vehicles until they had vehicles in the Middle East since the 1920s, like 1924, but the public wasn't introduced to vehicles until almost 1960. And if you ever go to the Middle East, you'll see that they drive crazy compared to the United States. So a lot of them are still fairly new when it comes to vehicles, and we're in 2024. So we have this brother here who said that he wouldn't mind having three wives. I The way he speaks, he could probably make it happen, but because the American woman, and I'm sure he's trying to get in a woman that's an American woman. Most of our women here in America are batshit crazy. Most of them are batshit crazy, and they have a jealous spirit. Women have a jealous spirit regardless, and so it's going to be hard for them to get along with each other, brothers. Very, very difficult. I'm not there. Some there are some women that could probably do that, you know, share the man, and it's going to come down to that later on. We may never see it. At least I'm 46 years old, so I may never see it to where it's going to be okay for men to have more than one woman, where it's going to be, it's going to be legal. So, but I do have it. I do have an expert here, a brother here. You know what I'm saying? And he's not from America. He's lived in America for quite some time, but he's not from America. So he knows about having more than one woman. And I'm gonna say this, brothers. Most men, if you actually going to do that, you better be financially stable. You better be financially stable because you're gonna have to take care of those women. Because you're gonna have to at least provide. On top of that, I'm sure that you're gonna want to have some children. So you better have your pockets ready, especially living in America. I can't speak on all the other countries because you might be able to get away with just having a tough couple of camels, two cows, four goats. Hey, you might be good on that. But here in America, you better have your paper right because those women, some of these women have a childlike mentality. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into this video because the reason why I'm doing this is because, and I've said it before, I'm starting to use Kendra as this like comedy hour. That's all this is. But you're gonna see how Kendra is going to be a little bit upset, and she's gonna be throwing some things out there and I don't even believe that she even understands. I'm gonna say this too. I think Kendra should take the time to research on polyamorous relationships before she starts speaking on things because the things that she's saying doesn't even make sense. And I'm going to chime in along with my brother here. He's going to be chiming in here and there throughout the video. But let's get to it.
Is it- Can you hear me?
Yeah, I do think it's. Hello? Do you hear static?
It's going in and out.
Okay, I think we might be good. What's your name,
Okay,
babe?
good. My name is John. What up, Kendra?
Hey, baby. What you want me to call you? John?
Yeah, John, that's good.
Okay. John, where you calling us from, love?
From Racine, Wisconsin, like Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Okay, you gotta stay in the light, love.
Okay.
Okay. So we got John, Milwaukee. How old are you?
33.
Turn around where you can face the light, because I feel like behind you, you want the light to be in your face.
Hey, I'm gonna go upstairs.
Okay. Are you in the basement?
Yeah.
Why are you hiding in the basement, John?
No.
They want to know why you in the basement.
Cause I own the house, man. You know we gotta patrol everything. Feel me?
Ooh, he said, because he own a house. Don't play with him. All right.
All right, let's get it.
John, Milwaukee. How old are you?
33.
33. What do you do for a living?
Right now I'm unemployed, but I was working at this factory for 13 years. And I ain't want to do it no more. So got divorced. I'm basically at the great reset right now.
Okay. When did you quit your job?
I quit it around like July,
Of last
like
year.
last year. Yeah.
Okay. When did you get divorced?
I'm like a month in right now. Just fresh.
Now, is it divorced or separated?
Divorced. I'm talking walking papers gone. Like no, ain't none of that. Over with.
So so the state of Milwaukee recognizes you as a divorced man.
Wisconsin, yeah, the state of Wisconsin, yeah.
The state of Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your zodiac sign?
Capricorn like Jesus, baby.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah, so this is some of the things that I like have, with most of the guests on here. You need to come more prepared because there were things that I'm like, okay, you're getting some residual income. So when you say I'm not working right now, then he goes into the fact that he has other investments, he's doing things that get him money.
Mm-hmm.
This is why it's important to just prepare yourself to be able to explain your circumstance, because immediately when I first heard him say he doesn't have a job currently, I was just like, why are you even on the show?
Right.
So there were things that he was, like I said, I do think men should come on here speaking more for how a woman looks at, relationships, so she can get an understanding to who he is.
Mm-hmm.
You can't speak like a man on a dating show looking for a woman. You got to kind of speak their language to some degree, but you got to have clarity with who you are.
Right.
And the way he was, I feel like he was baited in some, like with the whole celebrity situation. Everybody uses celebrities for some kind of measurement for relationships, and that's the last thing you should do as a average person. Even if you got the money, she kind of gets you, because she's in that world. She kind of gets people tangled up, especially men that have a certain rhetoric and a certain way of a certain lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't really know if this guy is even, we don't know if he's ever been in a poly relationship, but he was just saying his preference, and he got kind of baited into, a conversation that kind of like made him look a certain type of way. I will say that she says this all the time. She's going to ask questions, and it's the guest choice. Like, she's not going to make a guest talk about it, but she said it's not hard to get him to get into the conversation. So this is what you got to stand on you got to stand your ground with what you're trying to convey. Like, don't go in there thinking that I can just talk about anything, I'm this and that, because you might, like I said, what we say with women, you're going to put your foot in your mouth. And I think that's what he kind of did. I completely understood where he was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And how he feels, like what your entrance to the show. I don't advise a foundationally American person to do poly, because of unless they do the work to be studied in it, get educated in it.
Right.
If you're not, and you're just saying because of your financial gain, and you may even have a good structure. I felt like this guy had a good structure. He talked about his background, but it's still, the dynamic is different. The women are not bred to be in a relationship where she has to consider another person of the same sex in regards to a long lasting relationship. They're male and female is bred universally in the Western culture through movies, music, family, generations. It's all in your face about one man, one woman getting on one knee. So unless you're trying to be studied in it,
Mhm.
yeah, you take your time. It's not going to be overnight. And yes, finances matter, especially in this culture. Remember, there is a dynamic, especially in Black America. It's very materialistic. There's going to be unrealistic standards for how people finance their lives. As we know, the average person is living check to check. So he seemed to be financially inclined, though. I feel like he knew what but again, I didn't watch the end of it. I watched most of it, but we're going to see like if he's experienced some degree of being with more than one woman, because he said 3. He jumped to 3.
Right.
I went through 1, then I transitioned to 2, then I transitioned to 3. It wasn't just I jumped into it. It was something that was a mutual growth in my relationship with the women I were with. But one thing they didn't know, I was kind of groomed in it. I got family members. I grew up around it. If you don't see examples of it, if you don't know people that studied or they actually live that lifestyle, you don't know. You only can guess. You only can fantasize. So hopefully later in the episode, he can get more in detail. If it isn't that she's drawn out this whole thing with Jay-Z and celebrities and stuff like that. But that's all. Yeah. Yeah,
All
he
right.
just needs to explain himself in a way where it makes sense, because he's in America. And when men say, I don't have a job,
Mhm.
that right there is going to make him look a certain way anyway. He's a black man.
Right.
But that's it.
What up, you feel me?
What's up, you feel me?
Let's go ahead and continue.
Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I got 3 kids, all by my ex-wife.
How old are your 3 kids?
13. We got 13, 9, and 8.
13, 9, and 8. Do you guys have shared custody?
Yeah, we do like 6 months.
Okay. All right. So John, Milwaukee, Capricorn, 3 kids by his ex-wife, officially divorced. So how are you making income being that you quit your job? You just have money saved up or something?
Yeah, I have money saved, do different investments, and I just started digital marketing online and content creation, and that's actually been working good. So like I said, it is ways out here. When you quit your job, I was making $100,000 a year. I was making the 6 figures. So my wife was a stay-at-home wife. So I offer the 3 P's, protection, peace, and provision. Okay. Most of these men can't do that. Okay. And I can do it early. Okay. When my woman got a problem with the bills, 125, look, you got to be able to provide peace. Okay. These men don't know nothing about that because they wasn't raised correctly. Okay. You still have some old school men out here that's doing things correctly, that know how to do things right. Okay. Pookie and Ray Ray don't know what he doing. Come over here where it get done correctly.
Go ahead, my brother.
I didn't like that he had to set himself apart from other men.
Mhm.
And it's almost like he's given into this rhetoric that black women say about black men, to the point where he has to like say, I'm different than the rest. I come from, and I feel like that's downing black men in a sense. I feel like he could have just said, I come from a structured background. He doesn't have to put down, other men to champion or even brag about what he has or what structure he has. I don't think, you don't have to say men don't, not like these. Okay, we get it. You can make the same case in every version, with sex, and I just didn't like that either. He was setting a tone that sounded very it was just making me feel like this man is trying to prove something, like he has something to prove outside of the fact that he's looking for somebody. Because if he's saying it like this, like I feel like he's like this, period. Like he gives off this energy like this is his way with women. Like, and I'm not trying to be like judgmental, but I don't have to talk down on men to talk about my background. I don't have to say that I'm this compared to somebody else. I don't compare myself to other men because
Right.
I can look at the world and understand that there's always going to be something that's not working with a group of people. But when it comes to dating, do I have to say these men don't do this, I do this, these men don't do that, I do this? Like, that's an, just I don't like when people do that, especially black men, because it's like, okay, you're basically giving in to what women say. And I believe most black men are well-rounded men.
Right.
I just don't think we get the good. We've been looking up stats, man. It's been looking like we've been doing pretty well, so it may not be, I don't believe in absolutes, but if you're giving in to that rhetoric, but that's all.
Right. I'm glad my brother here he said all that because I caught it. I just didn't want to say too much about it. So, but we're gonna go ahead and continue.
And get your peace back. All praises to the Most High.
Okay, well, you drop it a lot, but let me ask you this: why did you get a divorce from your wife?
We just fell out of love, straight up, man. She was my high school sweetheart. We good friends. It's just I realized I was destroying her because with me providing so much peace and providing everything, she wasn't. I basically was stopping her growing process. So again, we all lifelong learners, but she was the caterpillar going into the cocoon, being the butterfly. I was stopping her process because I was always giving. A lot of people probably can't understand that, but
Now, brothers, let me say something to that real quick. And this is where I say that we have to do proper planning. I get it. Most, marriages in America, we already know about the divorce rate already. We know about the divorce rate. It's very high in America. So that's where, and I'm putting it on you, so-called black men, especially black men of America. Y'all have to properly plan on who you're going to marry first when it comes to children and everything else. All that is on you, because I'm not going to sit here and say you might pick the wrong woman, but if your woman is not on the same, if she's not in alliance with you, it's not going to work. And the only thing that I'm going to believe from all of that, from what he said, because I could be wrong, is that maybe she just got tired of being a housewife and a mother. That's what I believe, because most of our women here in America are not trained or not raised to compliment you. They're raised to compete with you, brothers. That's all they're doing, and and a lot of women are going to say no, but when you're telling your daughter, and I have a daughter too, because I've told her the same thing. When you're telling her go to college, you can have fun. Well, I didn't tell her to go have fun, but when you're telling her to have fun and all this other stuff, you're basically just telling her all you're doing is she's competing. Because by the time that child, your daughter, turns 40, it's like she'll look back and be like, I didn't get to live life, which is nothing wrong with that. But brothers, again, we have to raise our children a lot better. And that's all I got. But let's go ahead and continue.
I want to. So you're basically saying being married to you was stunning her growth.
yeah, to a certain degree. Okay, for example, if you don't have the struggle of having to work 16 hours, coming to cook, clean, and like you always got this man that's giving you. I've been giving it to her since 15 because, that's when we started dating. I started you can't stunt someone's growth by doing it. It's like entitlement or enabling someone because you constantly feeding them and they never get up and get it themselves. You kind of mentally draining them to a certain degree. You can't do that.
Who wanted the divorce, you or her?
It was more of a mutual thing. We was fighting all the time, arguing, beefing. It just kind of lapsed out on its own.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that if that's the dynamic of your relationship, it shouldn't hinder anything that she wants to do in life. I feel like you didn't have the proper foundation. I think you're saying that, a woman also has to go through some societal experiences for her to understand no. I feel like it has a lot to do with grooming. I feel like that structure or foundation that would help her identify with herself to a degree where she doesn't get bored or she doesn't feel fulfilled is something you should have worked on because you had 3 kids with her. It's not like it was that much of an issue. So obviously, sometimes as men we have to understand that if that was the dynamic, you're in fact the provider, protector, you gave provision, you also have the responsibility to bring out the missing voids. You gotta be aware of those too, because like I said, America doesn't address mental health. So that was one of the things you have to address immediately, because that may be your downfall. I see it. Whenever I hear anybody say we fell out of love, and it wasn't due to like infidelity, lie, it's deception, and they can chalk it up to somebody wasn't communicating enough to open up those voids that most Black, and especially in the Black community, mental health is a big issue. I don't think it's necessarily that she just is bored. I do say in most cases, yeah, women they're bored, but that's due to mental health issues. We already looked this up in the DSM. It's actually not a good thing for you to be bored in the first place. It's not a good characteristic. It brings you into a place of negativity within that your mindset when you're bored. So it's not a good thing to be bored. There's too much that you can do in a day that would preoccupy you. Like I said, if you can't identify with yourself, if you don't know what makes you happy, or if you just like to sit there and let the world run you like to react rather than you live your life, then it's going to be hard for you to be fulfilled. You're anticipating that something should fall in your lap to be happy, and that's not the way it works. You got to put in the work. You got to identify with yourself and find out what you like, who you are, and you won't be looking back 5 years with 3 kids or whatever, however long, and saying that we just grew apart.
Right.
It's the mental health aspect. So that's it.
All right, let's go ahead and resume.
Listen, I'm gonna let you respond. Fifi spent $5 and said, "B, you are Pookie."
I don't even understand why. So a female sent a cash app in or whatever to say that this man's a Pookie, but she ain't got no leg to stand on. So, brother, go ahead and rip that skeezer apart.
Oh, okay, so what's the definition of a Pookie? I don't have any criminal record. I bought my first house at 22. I made $100,000 for the last 10 years. I started my own cleaning business. I don't work for the white man. All my money is made by me. I don't punch a clock. No man tells me what to do. I don't have to punch in the clock. I don't do any of that. So how am I a Pookie?
Fifi, how is he a Pookie, Fifi? That sent me that question. Fifi, bring your ass, spend another $1 to answer how he's a Pookie.
And by the way, Fifi, since you want to talk, Fifi, I ain't Pookie, the Pookie that's going to be eating your kids' Doritos and fruit snacks and not dropping your kids off to school. Your kids will get to school messing with a nigga like me. Fifi, don't get me started, Fifi.
Oh, child. John is ready for y'all. All right, let's keep going. So we got John, Milwaukee, 33, Capricorn, dad of 3 kids, all by his ex-wife, got divorced a month ago. So you're unemployed, but because I think you said you were unemployed. Now in that rant, you just kind of said you owned your own businesses. So you were unemployed, you were working for someone and running your own company?
Yeah, so I basically was kind of doing it. I was kind of serving 2 masters to a certain degree. I was still living in the world, still trying to work for somebody and building my own, but it actually worked out. So I started auto detailing, carpet cleaning and stuff like that. I saw the competition was charging $100. So I said, you know what, let me come in at 50. Start doing specials. I started making my own money. But, I was making so much money at that factory. I was making $35 an hour, and this was at 21. I was making $35 an hour, working 12 hours. I was really getting it, So at the end of the day, man, God just came on to me and was like, man, You're going to keep doing it this way. This is what you're going to keep getting. And
Let me say something real quick, brothers. And this is not for everybody, all right? Brothers, if you have the mindset that you could own, that you could create or have your own business, go ahead and do that. The corporate world is not for everybody.
Right.
I promise you it is not. It isn't. Most of you, because a lot of you black men, y'all don't need to be working for the white man. You do not. Now, if you choose to, that's fine. Even me, I'm not business savvy. I don't really want to own my own business because I just don't want those big responsibilities. But for some of you, if you don't like working for somebody else, then go ahead and try your best to create your own business. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of black men need to get away from working in the corporate world. Go ahead, my brother. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Absolutely. If you have the opportunity to, if you're gifted in creating things for yourself, if you know the market, you know about financing, invest in yourself. Because like I said, it's not made for everybody. I wasn't in the corporate world. I get it. I understand it, but I feel like I have to be in more control. So I created something for myself. And I took what I took out of it was a lot of knowledge, how to treat people, how to move, how to network, the interpersonal experiences, to the background conversations most people don't hear about. I learned a lot, and I appreciate what I learned for being like within corporate America. But I took what was something that could make me go higher out of it and use it to my advantage. Some people don't need to even go through that process. Some people know how to market themselves in a way where they can start off straight out doing something like entrepreneurship and business. You can do anything. You can literally do anything if you and hone in on it. If you educate yourself and you just put in a little extra work, you just might have a natural ability to market yourself. And yeah, take advantage of it. I tell, like I said, I speak to the youth. Take advantage. If someone gives you an opportunity, take advantage of it. If it means you could be doing things on your own and there's no dependency, take advantage. Either or is not a bad thing, but like Slim said, it's not for everybody because there's a lot of chess monopoly type of circumstances when you work in that world. Like sometimes you're cut off. Sometimes you'll be put in positions in corporate America where if you was trying to move up, you got to literally wait until the other person dies in order to get a promotion. That's how serious it is when it comes to certain spots in corporate America. You might get the privilege based on if you know somebody, but typically the average person is going to always have to do a little bit more than not. And you're going to be, if you're climbing up the ladder, I'm telling you, you could be in a situation where it's not even that you're not qualified to be doing something at a higher level. It's just that they then got a monopoly with the people at the top. They got to literally die for you to be in that position. I can't do that. That's why I got on. Hey, I had to get on my own. So, yeah, he's right.
All right, brothers, let's go ahead and resume.
That voice just kept beating on me every day to the point where he was like, you got to quit this job July 7th. And them 7s lined up. And when them 7s lined up, he said, you got to make a decision. Either you going to quit or you going to work here and get this or you going to serve me. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I quit. And then from there, that journey, it's just been starting and he just been revealing things to me and it's real.
Okay, I want to ask this. Dwayne, I think it's Dewan Owensby, because I asked you this question, but just in a clear answer, he said, who filed for divorce times 7? I know you said it was a mutual decision, but who's the person that actually filed for divorce?
I actually put the papers in. I filed.
You filed. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's keep going. So John, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, 33 Capricorn. So what would you say for your job profession? Because you told me you were unemployed, but it seems like you're not really unemployed.
Well, digital content creation.
All right. So what kind of woman are you looking for now?
See, look, man, I keep it clear cut. I ain't got time for all this extra stuff like these other dudes. Look, man, I'm looking for loyalty. Okay, straight up. I want 3 wives, but if I can find one good one that got all the traits, I'm good. Okay, I'm
Okay,
looking for
pause right there. So you
Brothers, y'all get ready for this. Y'all get ready for Kendra because now you're about to see what Kendra's gonna do to this guy, and he really didn't even have to even go through
Let me
all
say,
this. Well, go ahead, real.
yeah. So let me say this. This is what he said is why I can understand why women get a pushback. Because he said, if I can't, like, if I can find one woman that has all the qualities that I need, that's just all my wives have all the qualities I need within one person. That's not what poly is. So you, in his mind, that is pretty much what he probably thinks. He probably thinks that the reason why that's even a thing because men are looking for specific things, and he's assuming that, oh, I can't find this with one chick, so this one chick might have this foundational thing I like. This chick might. No, all three of my women foundationally meet all my needs. I do not count outside circumstances, that be it career choices, even types of education, the market, the demand. I'm looking at the mental health and foundation of a woman. That stuff is it means something, but it's in another column. But I need to know if your mental health is intact. I need to know if you have a good foundation, or we can work on it. But I have to know. I would not be talking to 3 different women to make one person. That's crazy. That's what I didn't agree with. Like, you can find what you need in one person, because then this is the thing with Americans, because then you would say, well, if you can find everything in one person, why do you need to talk to multiple people? Well, there you go with this. This is the conundrum for an American person, because they think it, to me, if you're asking that question, that means that is what you think polygamy is. It's like unfulfillment within one person. No, some people are built to be in an arrangement where a team it acclimates their lifestyle. So that's the way I've always been my whole life. I think there's some people out here that just acclimate themselves where that's the way they run their life. If you Even with my career, I've always been this way where I can run a team, and that's how I care about people. So I think there's a couple of questions that come to mind whenever you ask these questions. Why does an American man that doesn't have no education, hasn't been groomed, don't have any association with any polygamous people, why would a man, and he said it, because I don't feel like one person could fulfill me. Maybe if I talk to multiple people, I can get one person. And that right there is something I don't agree with. Everything else with what Kendra does is bullshit. But again, I think you should be prepared when you go on these shows. But that's the only thing I had to say that I didn't agree with, when he said that if I can't find it in one person, I'm going to talk to multiple people. Imagine hearing that as a woman, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If a woman's hearing that, I'm hearing that I don't fulfill you, and so you're talking to 2 other women to meet that. That's not. That doesn't even make sense if you think about it. So I feel like he has a lot of good qualities with the structure and discipline, but I feel like he's going about it the wrong way. I think he has a preconceived notion about that lifestyle. Now, that may be a thing, though. I ain't gonna say. I believe there's a case. There's always a circumstance for it. But if that's the reason why some people have poly relationships, then it's a very, very, because it's already a very small number in America anyway. That's even smaller to find people only doing it because they're not fulfilled with one person. That's a very small group of people. Very, very. But that's it.
Right. What up, Zatu? Let's go ahead and continue.
You want a polyamorous relationship now?
If I can find 3 and we all on the same accord and we all, got an understanding, because again, I know what I'm doing in the marriage, because I provide the 3 Ps. You're going to get your piece, like working for a job, being a CNA nurse. My woman don't have them type of stress. She, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, with me, you're not going to have those issues. You're going to have peace. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, okay, so some women won't feel as though a polyamor. I guess they both have to be on the same page, because some women don't feel like a poly situation is peace. But you were saying, in an ideal world, you would want 3 women who would all accept you as their man.
Yes, if I can find one that has it all, I'll take it and I will be committed to her. Again, see, this is what I was saying. It may not be for you, lady, straight up. It may not be, like, again, if this not for you, cool. But I'm saying this is what I want, my standards. And again, this is my world. And I have the money and I can provide what I want.
So, okay, I
Everybody,
cut you off because I wanted to get clarity on the 3 women, but let's start from the top.
okay.
What are you desiring again?
You said, what do I desire?
Yeah, I kind of, because I interjected when you said 3 women because I wanted to get the clarity, but now I want you, I'm not going to interject you this time. Tell me what kind of woman you looking for?
Oh, brother, remember she said she's not going to interject him this time. Let's see if she sticks to that. Let's continue.
Okay, a woman that knows her worth and knows herself. A woman that knows that she's a woman and I'm a man. I don't got time to be arguing with this female. And if I'm giving direction, I know what I'm doing because I walk this walk. I have the wisdom. I can provide this. I don't have time for you arguing with me. That rebellious, I don't have time for. We have a mission to do. We have money to get. It's stuff to be conquered. We building this kingdom and we trying to build this empire. As long as we got that same accord, we good. So a woman that knows her self-worth, she has humility. She don't always have to be the speaker of the room. She always don't have to talk and be the loudest person. Okay, silence is the key. Okay, you know your worth by you being quiet and shutting up sometimes. Okay, that's how you show your beauty. Okay, it's the time to talk and it ain't the time to talk. Long as she understands that, we good. And of course, beauty. I want her to be beautiful. Get your nails and feet done. That's easy. That comes with the relationship. I'm providing that. Hair, done, nails, feet, all of that. That comes with peace. You're supposed to rest in your femininity as a woman. And if your man's not providing that, he's not a man.
I just have a Kendra question. And
Here we go.
The statement about knowing when to shut up and when to be quiet. Do you feel as though that could be a rule that could apply to men too? Or is that something only for women?
Brothers, before the brother answers that question, let me tell you something. Every man that has came up on this show that has actually spoke about polyamorous relationship or they want more than one woman, Kendra always have some type of backlash. And this is why I say a lot of women don't know how to be a wife. There's women that don't know how to be a mother. They don't know what a man wants, but they all know what a man is supposed to do. For some reason, they all know that. But let's go ahead and continue because Kendra's about to get him. I'm not going to even say get him out of pocket. It's just, you'll see for yourself.
For women.
Yeah, well, the man should know that first. Again, if I'm telling my woman something, it's because I've already conquered it. I will never tell someone to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. That's the ultimate leader. That's what I do.
I agree with what he just said. Brothers, in order for the woman to get in line, the man has to get in line first. So I agree with what he just said. Let's continue.
Because remember, I only speak of things. I don't speak of what another man tells me. I didn't go to college from another person, reading this and learning it. No, I learned from my life. My dad, I was raised by my father. He was an older 69. He just passed away last year. And again, I got that old school teaching. He's from Mississippi. His parents, Arkansas, that old school tradition where you still can do chivalry and, treat a woman correctly and stuff like that. But the woman has to know her worth, just as I know my worth.
So, John, you're not really looking for tradition because you said in an ideal world you would desire 3 women. So would you?
Wait. So you see how the brother spoke on tradition, and now she's talking about. Now she's going to go back to the 3 wives. So watch Kendra, because she don't like this, because she really doesn't want a man to have control. That's her whole thing. But you're going to see how Kendra starts to act a fool a little bit. Let's continue.
You consider that a traditional relationship?
I would want 3 women. But if I can find one that has it all, I would accept that too. But from what I'm seeing, it seems like women, they either don't have it all. It's just like a lot of women today. They'll date a man. One man probably can give him the Pookie demon dick, and this man got the money and the bills, but he just lame. Okay, a woman, you gotta have the book smarts and you gotta have the street smarts. You gotta be a combination of everything. That's the 7 spirits of God. Humility. A man has to. It's deep, but again, you gotta know your worth and just know the powers that God gives you when He reveals it.
Okay, what are your deal breakers?
A whore. I hate whores. They're fun to kick it with, but as far as wifing or being a woman, because again, a woman that's a whore doesn't know her worth. Because every time a man
That nigga said he hate whores. Let's continue.
sticks his penis in you, he's sticking a key in a lock, and he's unlocking things in your portal, and his demons exchanges onto you. So a woman has to know her worth. And if you're selling yourself for less and giving your vagina away, I know you don't know your worth.
Here comes
So that's the
Kendra.
first thing. Yes.
John, I'm gonna let you continue, but there's people watching this right now that will call you a whore because you're on record saying you wish you could have 3 women that go.
Why would that? Why? No, Kendra, don't say that there's people that will call him a whore. Say that you feel that he's a whore because he wants 3 women. This is why I say that Kendra needs to do her research on polyamorous relationship before she tries to ask these questions. And the thing is, Kendra has been doing this show for almost 4 years. Next month, April, will be 4 years. Why haven't you done the research on polyamorous relationships? Because you keep asking the same damn question. But go ahead, Real.
Well, most women don't want the truth. They don't want to hear that something that is an insecurity when it comes to other women. They don't want to know that that's something that could be a thing in real life. They want to believe anything that they hear bad about poly, they jump right to it. They gravitate towards because they're not in their head. It can never be a thing.
Right.
A cheater is a cheater. So it doesn't matter if you have 8 women, 20 women, you can still go out behind their backs and do something that will essentially end a relationship. Right. This is another thing that is in America. They think that you're trying to fulfill sexual needs. Now, I think there's a case for everything in this world. So there might be some people doing it, but I don't think it's applicable to the general notion of poly. You can make the case for monogamy. Some men just want to be less lonely. They just want one thing from a woman. They just don't want to be alone. That's the way some people are. I wouldn't say that's generally why people get in relationships monogamously. But you can make a case and say, hey, there's some people, men and women, not gender specific, that just want to be less lonely. They don't know how to be in relationships. They just need something to preoccupy their times. Mm-hmm. And they're so accustomed to just dating a lot and being with a lot of people that that's what they think is normal. So again, she did not do her research. She never will do her research. And just way her facial expressions whenever a guy says more than one woman, it offends her. I really think that because she said she used to talk to a lot of high value men. Mm-hmm. I think that she was put in a lot of circumstances where some of them let her know that, hey, you're going to be amongst a few other women. Or she either found out the hard way. So, but I think that, again, this is what, I know Kevin Samuels would have probably had a lot to say to this guy as far as the way he says some things, the way he's explaining certain things, but she's personalizing it. She really is. Anytime a woman says, some people says it's all what she thinks. A woman never speaks from the perspective of other people because most women are entitled and self-centered. So they never really think about anybody else's thoughts unless they agree with how they think. So when women say that, I never take it serious. So this is something and this is what sucks about when you have a host like this, because she can change the whole narrative. And I think she baited him when they started going to other topics to throw off his whole thing. I do think there's some things wrong with this guy, and I don't think it has anything to do with poly. I know the thing is about poly, but I think there's some mental health issues because you're going to get on the fact that he was overweight. Now, when he gets there, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Oh, and Zatu, Kendra's in a relationship. She's dating a African man. I'm not sure if he's been. I don't know how long he's been in the United States, but she is in a relationship with an African man. Let's go ahead and continue.
That could all be on the same page, which means you would have 3 women that you're having sex with, and some people would say that's whore behavior.
Well, how am I a whore? For one, whores do things in secret. I'm being open. I'm
So
literally
if a woman,
telling.
so if a woman, let me ask you this: if a woman had 3 men in public, you wouldn't consider her a whore?
First of all, that doesn't even make any. Why would you even ask a stupid ass question like that, Kendra? I mean, you would think she was a whore if she had 3 men. And this is the problem that I have. See, this is where these women think that they're equal to a man, and it's not that way. And let me say this, brothers. Even if that was the case, right? Now, if this man has 3 women, and he's the only one having sex with these women, and those women got pregnant, we already know who the father is. But guess what? If that woman had 3 men and she gets pregnant, she finds out she's pregnant the following month. How long you think it's going to take for her to find out who the father is? That's like you're going to have oh let me
my fault.
you're going to have a bunch of chaos and confusion. And let me just say this last thing real quick, brothers. I don't like to compare us to animals, but one of those men might get upset and kill that baby. That's exactly what lions do. Whenever they take over a pride, they kill the cubs that don't belong to them. So y'all brothers, I don't know why she asked that question, but go ahead, Real. You got it.
She would have to talk to some odd thinking men. She couldn't even talk to one dominating man. She couldn't talk to one that was more alpha-ish because he would dismantle the other 2 men. So if you see these things with multiple men, it's very rare. Well, I haven't seen, and I've actually met women that talk to multiple men, and the way these men seem to me is a little off. I'm not trying to say that goes for everybody, but you can't even have one dominant figure in a relationship like that. Secondly, I don't consider these things double standards. A double standard can only be with a person that's like you. The only way you can't have a double standard for man and woman, because guess what? The man has to trust a woman if she gets pregnant.
Right.
A woman will never know how it feels to find out a child's not hers. She'll never know. Just off that difference alone, that thing that she will never experience, just off the cusp of a situation, a woman will never be in a situation. She's always going to know 100% of the time that she's the mother.
Right.
She doesn't know what a man goes through, even when she doesn't know. So it's just we're 2 different things. We have things that put us together, that connect us, talking about spirituality, all these other things, but we're not comparable to even say it's a double standard. The only thing will be it has to be between men and men. So I'll give you an example. If there's 2 women going to the club and one doesn't look attractive, she's probably overweight, and one is attractive and she looks fit and she's better looking, her body looks banging, she's probably gonna get in for free. She's probably gonna get free drinks. She's probably gonna be offered a lot of things throughout the night. The big girl's probably gonna have to sit in the line just like every other man that's not exclusively invited to those clubs. That's a double standard. That's what a woman can say that's a double standard. There's some men that have advantages, and men can say, well, why does he get to do this and I don't get to do this? That's the double standard. But there's no such thing as a real double standard between men and women. I don't know who made that up, but go look up the definition. It can't be we are 2 different types of creatures. We belong together. We need each other. I believe a man will never be fulfilled without a woman, and vice versa. But I will never say and use a dynamic. Well, if a woman does it, and Kendra knows, because when she's talking to these women, and they want these guys that make a lot of money, she's breaking it down to the fact that these men are demanding. They want a certain type of woman. If it wasn't gender exclusive, you wouldn't have to point out what men specifically want. You wouldn't have to break it down like that. But when she's talking to these women, it's funny how she can rationalize a man when these women want some outrageous type of guy. But when it comes to something that I think hits home,
Hmm.
like this Polly thing, because I noticed this too, she has all these retarded ass questions. But that's
Right.
it.
Let's go ahead and continue, brothers.
That
The
too,
the
and
difference
that
is
too
three.
big does mean ugly. I'm sorry. No man. And I hate to say this to you, it don't mean ugly. Like okay, she's gonna like men are not gonna have sex with her, but it will mean that she will never be taken serious unless he has a fetish. I'm just letting you know the truth. If a man has a choice, he would never choose a big girl unless he has a birth defect or a fetish. That's just a fact.
Right. Let's go ahead and continue.
Three women, a woman wouldn't do that in public.
What up,
She would do
y'all?
it in
What y'all
secret.
got
See,
going
this is the
on?
difference.
What up, Skinny? Hey, I'm recording. I mean, you can stay up here, bruh, but I just don't want no craziness going on, bruh. That's all I ask.
I just want to talk crazy today.
All right.
I'm
No,
not doing
I
my.
mean, but she does it in secret because she gets judged. So I'm asking you clearly: if a woman had openly 3 men that she was sleeping with, would that be a whore to you?
Yes.
So, but if a man does it, it's not a whore to you because that's what you're requesting.
See, here's what you got. This is what you're doing wrong, Kendra. You're trying to make men and
I'm
women
not
the
doing. Hold
same.
on, real quick, John. Hold on. I'm asking you questions. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm
Kendra, actually, you are doing because you do this all the time, and brothers don't listen. You don't. I hope none of you brothers get on this date, so because I'm gonna tear your ass apart if you sounding crazy. But brothers, don't let none of these women bait you into these questions. He could have just moved on, but now it's gonna be a whole discussion, and she don't like it, brothers. She don't like she. We all these American men and women. Well, most of the women they believe one man, one woman, and they're gonna try to pull out some type of Bible verse with a lack of understanding. Listen, brothers, I'm gonna say this. And I've said this already before. There's nothing wrong with a man having more than one woman as long as you do it in order. Now, when you out here being reckless, it's a whole different story. So, nothing wrong with what this brother wants. It's his preference, and still, Kendra has to get on him. But let's go ahead and continue.
trying to understand your answer. So a question is not wrong. And I'm going to let you continue, but it is a double standard because if a woman openly dated a man if a woman dated 3 men publicly, you would consider her a whore. If a man did it, you would not consider him a whore. Now, it could be, listen, I know you have your reasons for it, but that is what you're saying.
It's a bad faith question because no woman is going to be in public with 3 men like that and not get shamed. When a man has 3 beautiful women on his arm, that's status, that shows. That's a 1% man that can have 3 beautiful women in public. It's a difference. That's what
Well,
I'm
let
trying
me
to
jump
say.
in as a woman who
I do agree with what he said. I do agree with him. It is a status to a certain extent because there are going to be other men that are going to be looking at you. They might look at you in a bad way. They more than likely they're going to look at you in a good way, especially if you're in order. So more than likely they're going to look more than likely than not they're going to look at you in a good way. Now, a woman, of course, they're going to look at her bad. They're going to look at her as a whore, or they're going to be like, "What the hell is going on?" Any man would look at that thing crazy, and I would probably wonder if one of those niggas is gay. Cause ain't no way I'd be sharing some trim with another man and we all living in the same household. Or I know. Now we know that there's women that have had multiple sex partners. We know that. But I don't want to know that my homeboy is over here sexing the same chick that I'm sexing and I'm not giving you no high five. I'm moving on if I find out. So, brother, in a way to me, if I find out that a woman has multiple men, and those men know about it, I'm gonna look at them. I'm gonna be like, that's kind of like borderline homosexuality. That's just my opinion. I'm not about to.
Exactly, exactly what it is.
Yeah, I'm not about
It's
to.
kind of
I'm not. If Billy smashed, and Billy smashed at 4 o'clock, it ain't gonna be my turn at 5 o'clock. No, Now, no, and especially if I know that Billy's fat. Hell no. I'm not doing that train shit. I ain't taking turns. That shit is borderline homosexuality. And that's just me. Y'all
That's
can think what you
cucking.
want.
You can't. That's called cucking. When you do that, cucking is more than a nigga watching this girl get banged. Cucking could be when your girl fuck another dude and then turn around and fuck you, or turn around and let you eat that shit after she know a nigga know another nigga smashed her up.
Right. I never heard of it like that, but again, brothers, I
No,
just don't do that, brothers. I've already talked about this about you mess with your homeboy girl, but I don't even want to even get into that. What the brother said is somewhat is pretty much true. I don't know why Kendra has so much backlash with these men that want to have more than one woman. But that's the American woman. But brothers, I will be honest with you. I don't believe that the American black man is ready for poly. Y'all are not ready. That's just my personal opinion.
I'm gonna pop my shit. Okay, that does very well financially. I don't look at men with three beautiful women and say that's a high value man. So that's not true. Every woman is not looking at a man. Some women look at it
Did anybody say anything about a high value man? Let's continue.
as an insecurity because he needs so many women to be validated. So yes, there's some people, men kind of rock with that.
Now it's about insecurity because quote unquote he needs that many women. But go ahead, real.
She's personalizing again because she said, I don't think. Kendra, when you see a well-established man saying she wants to bring up high value because she wasn't listening to the guy, he said status. He didn't say high value. And this is where women do this correlating thing. Like they can't, with communication and comprehension, black women especially lack it like 100%. And they don't want to hear nobody else out. They don't want to hear you out when they believe their thoughts to a degree where it's part of their lifestyle. So she cannot disassociate status and high value. Yes, when you see a guy with multiple women, generally in society, he looks like it does bring status. Men will be like, okay, that's what's up. We may not even know your whole dynamic.
Right.
The only person trying to break it down is women. They think the woman may be under some kind of manipulation. You have to have money. Y'all, those are things women think about whenever these things occur. Men don't think about these things. We have a whole different relationship and rapport with how we handle ourselves in society. And women do not know how to tap out of themselves because they refuse to understand how men operate, especially in Western culture. So they want you to challenge dynamics from their outlook. They're not challenging it from understanding a man. They're challenging it from understanding their own interpretations of it. Right. And that's the fatal flaw of most black women in Black America. They have this toxic way of thinking where they kind of intrusively question things through a thought process that they've made up in their head, like it's how the world operates, and it doesn't work for them. That's why a woman like this, and she's a high, I would call her high value based off societal demands. I'm only ignoring everything else that goes with it living in this world. So if I'm ignoring the rest of what it is to be a woman, and I just focus on one thing that she's really good at doing, which is financing, I'm gonna say she's a high value woman. But she, like I said, I do not think her relationship's gonna last. I believe she's gonna be online, acting a different way when they break up, and you're gonna tell based on the show because that's what they normally do, and it's gonna show. Women are tapped out of trying to understand men, and when we give y'all a perspective that they just can't believe, it's like, no, it's not. It can't be true. I'm telling you, these are things men will never tell you. Like I said, we tolerate and we overlook because if we tell y'all the truth, it's going to diminish any value you have with the man. If he tells you this way that you are isn't attractive to him, but he can overlook it because that is not what truly matters in the grand scheme of a relationship. She won't focus on the fact that, hey, there's probably more things foundationally good about you.
Right.
Like it being overweight. If she's foundationally good to the man, he can overlook her being weight. And he's not. If he's just focusing on thinking with his penis, he can overlook that you're overweight. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. What comes with being an overweight woman means that she's already emotionally inclined. So that means that she's gonna be more irritable. Her will and efforts to do things physically will diminish. She will have an attitude for no reason. These are things that happens when you're consuming these poisons. And because women are the chemical imbalance within women is already emotional, it's tenfold. But because women don't even understand it, a man does. A man that at least takes decent care of himself is going to see erratic behaviors with her. But there might be some form of foundation, especially in America. I don't know why American men tolerate women, but they tolerate the bullshit.
Right.
There's never even been a good depiction of an overweight black woman in history. Y'all think it has to do with racism. I'll tell you what, it doesn't have to do with racism. It has to do with mainly because that's probably how black men portray women. When you're overweight, you don't see a good representation of an overweight black woman. Matter of fact, you don't see it in any race. They're funny people. They're known for singing. They're known for cooking. That's it. It's not like nothing that men appendage to their lives that make you valuable.
Right.
If you're thinking about the fact that we're going to show you attention because we want to have sex with you, I would question that. But they're not going to do that. But let's continue. That's it.
Hey, Cam, did you want to say something?
Hey, Shalom, brother.
What's going on, Cam?
I just wanted to get an update for the Pro Truth for Men of Color. That's the title. That is finally over, Slim. I got the baby mom on child support with the little card to receive the money.
Wait, Cam, hold up. I'm recording.
My bad. I didn't know, but I got her on there. And
oh my goodness. Cam, congratulations. I need y'all to, when y'all come in here, make sure y'all read a disclaimer, man, because if I'm doing a video, more than likely I'm recording, because I don't really go live like that. So I'm told, now I gotta cut your shit out. I gotta edit your shit. But let's get, you good? But you good. But let's continue.
With that, but it's not a perception automatically accepted as a good thing for everyone. Now, if that is your perception, I can honor that. But you can't say a man showing up with 3 women automatically is looked at as a great guy. I mean, there's plenty of men that have a lot of women. I look at them as losers.
Yeah, but that's your personal opinion. And you just said, and even when you started out, you was like, oh, if people would say. Now all of a sudden it's about what you saying. But let's continue, brothers.
Great guy. I said successful with showing status. A man that can have 3, look, a man that can come with 3 Beyoncés, you gotta ask, what is this man doing differently that he...
Brother, you should have never done that. Now you're about to get into a whole nother topic, but let's go ahead and continue.
He can get 3. It's already hard to get 1. But if you come with 3, you look at this dude like, man, you got to ask, what does he know?
A man would never have 3 Beyoncés, though. He might have 3 beautiful women, but he wouldn't have 3 Beyoncés.
If I'm Jay-Z and I'm an intelligent man, the woman becomes my rib or a part of me. She becomes what I am. So if I'm teaching her, I elevate her. So there will be 3 Beyoncés.
Does Jay-Z have 3 Beyoncés?
He chooses to only have 1, but if Jay-Z wanted to...
Brothers, the reason why look, first of all, she's part of the Beehive, so that's why she's so in defense, and she's actually met Beyonce. So, but let's continue.
Get another woman and basically...
And he would lose Beyonce in the process. It's already on record.
But it won't matter because...
Therefore, he wouldn't have 3 Beyoncés. He would have... Listen, he can have 3... Listen, I'm saying this because Beyonce is a made woman, successful woman, has a lot of money. She's not an average woman. She's not just a pretty face. So yes, could a man have 3 beautiful women? Absolutely. But is a man gonna have three? The mindset of a Beyonce is not gonna show up with Jay-Z and two other women and stand proud by that. Beyonce way. I'm not talking about beautiful face. Beautiful face, and there's all different slices of women.
Can I say something?
Of course you can.
What was Beyonce before Jay-Z? When she was just with Destiny Child, she was getting outsang by Beyonce. I understand. I know the Beehive gonna come for me for this, but we gotta ask ourselves this: was right is right and wrong was wrong. Jay-Z put his sauce on Beyonce. Look what Beyonce was before Jay-Z.
Go ahead, bro.
See, this is what I'm talking about right here. No matter what you say to a person, and this is a gender specific, if they're set in their ways, and like you said, Slim, she hasn't did any research on poly, so you're going to argue from a place of uneducation.
Right.
It's just not going to make sense. So do you know what she can speak from? That, like, those people, celebrities. And let the women do that, fellas. Don't ever bring up no celebrity as an example for a relationship, for goals, for whatever. Keep that shit to yourself. Let the women live in delusion low land, la la land with that way of thinking. Don't do that, because one, they're going to know more about these people than you. Two, they're going to have a more deeper bond with the delusion of their relationship anyway. No one knows, no one, not even Kendra, knows what goes on behind closed doors with these people.
Right.
We don't know if they're being paid by their management crew to argue 1 month, to make a CD, to say he's doing something he may never be doing.
I got you, Cam.
We don't know. So my thing is, stop, fellas, especially fellas, stop that, because it's very effeminate, because now he's gone into what she was. I don't even know what the hell Beyonce was doing before Jay-Z. I can't tell you.
Right.
I think she's an R&B singer, but I can't tell you much about her. And again, that's a rare type of couple. That's a rare couple. That's why they're always used. For the last 15 years, I have not seen nobody use that, no other couple, to define two people operating in business the way these two people are doing, and they've made a certain amount of money. I've never seen no one use any other people. Once they found out that Beyonce and Jay-Z accumulated, their net worth was over $1 billion, people started using them for examples for relationships, and I don't even know why. It's just the craziest thing to me. Right. But let them tell it. They argue on social media or whatever, or they make a CD. They think they know their whole life story for whatever reason. They don't know that Beyonce's sister might get a company that says, we want to know a little bit about Beyonce and Jay-Z. You're her sister. We'll pay you $200,000 to just tell us anything. That you don't know if her sister called me, hey, they're about to give me a check for $200K. You mind if I say this about y'all? Beyonce be like, okay. You don't know what's being said behind closed door. For all you know, Jay-Z can be getting slapped in the face every goddamn day. We don't know. But that's true. It.
Go ahead, Cam.
But yeah, I was gonna say when I'm sure when a brother, and most brothers like myself, and I agree with everything you said, dude, about the brothers should stop using these female tactics against females, because it's not gonna work. But when the brother brought up Beyonce, I don't think, and I wouldn't think myself, if I brought up Beyonce, I wouldn't be talking about her business acumen and her ability to make money, and her talent is what I want. I'm looking at her face, her hips, her voice, all that shit. See what I'm saying? That's what he meant by Beyonce. He didn't want an accomplished woman. He wanted a beautiful woman that everybody thought was beautiful.
Right.
And I was going to say, when I was coming up in the rap game, I said if I was a rapper like that, I wouldn't get no famous chick. I understand what he trying to say. This girl was a singer. She was on a couple nigga songs. But I would get a chick from the hood in Louisiana or something. Or a girl don't nobody know. That's just bad. From nowhere.
Right.
And have 3 of them. And they don't know no better. Because they with me. And I would take advantage and manipulate and all that shit. Because I'm Jay-Z or whoever it is, if you the brother, you don't have to get no famous chick. I never said I was going to do that shit. But that's it, though.
And let me say this because real did say that Kendra doesn't know about polyamorous relationship. I don't really believe that this brother knows about too much about polyamorous relationships either, because he went from monogamous. Well, he went from one woman and he had 3 children with her. Now all of a sudden he desires 3 wives. I'm not saying that he's going to get it, but he desires 3 wives. So he may need to do his research because I don't even believe. I don't know how much he makes a year, but you know, I don't believe that he could sustain 3 women, and he also has 3 children. I don't believe he could do that at all. I don't think he has enough money for that, unless those 3 women are working and they're all doing the same. I mean, I'm sorry, not doing the same thing, but they're all bringing in cash flow. Cash flow is coming through that house. And remember, I would advise. Who's to say these women all want to be under the same house, same roof? You, that's a lot of stuff you got to think about, brothers. That's why I say a lot of American black men are not ready for more than one headache. And yes, I said the word headache because a woman can be a headache. But let's continue.
And I
Look what
want y'all
Jay
to
Z was before Beyonce. I think
yeah,
they're a perfect example of they're first of all, here's the deal. They're a perfect example of when two people who are doing well in their own lives and growing together, what magic can happen. I do not negate that Jay-Z and even Beyonce is on record saying that Jay-Z helped her become a better woman. So you don't get no pushback there. But to sit up here and say that Jay-Z would be the man he is today without Beyonce, I won't agree to that. And honestly, I don't think Jay-Z agrees to that because why marry her? Jay-Z is a whole billionaire. He has no need to just have a wife, but he married her because she's a made woman. She has her own success. She could be in the same rooms, not
I
because
got
she's
you.
married to him. She lacks nothing. These are two very powerful people who came together and had children together. And if
Kendra, how do you know all that? But go ahead, real.
Oh yeah, I remember on here, Beyonce said she would not be where she's at if it wasn't for Jay-Z. I remember the women on here a few years ago going crazy that Beyonce said that because they started going to, I guess, whatever career she had before being with Jay-Z.
Mhm.
And if you got a woman saying that, why are you arguing with her about her own way of thinking? I remember that because the women on Beagle had a whole topic about, okay, I believe Beyonce said she wouldn't be the woman who she is today, and she wouldn't be where she's at if it wasn't for Jay-Z. Like he empowered her to go as far as she did.
Mhm.
Women were mad. Women were mad at her. This is the thing about idolizing people, because if you believe that they became an iconic person due to the fact that they survived and went through what these women go through as far as their lack of relationship skills, and you see a woman able to accommodate their goals in life and be in a successful relationship, and you think she went through the same route you did, and then you go see a story and she's on TV saying, well, I wouldn't even be who I was. You see the people you idolize, you attacking those own people. This is why, like, I hate that, like, because I value America, I value the people, but like with him, he already put himself in a circumstance where he was in a monogamous relationship and he had 3 kids. I realistically, logically, keep being monogamous. I think that when it comes to relationships, like, I think the route you started with should be the route you end with. I think it's very rare when it can change. It's very rare because you have to consider what you created in your first relationship. If you got up to 3 kids and you were married, sometimes you got to put what you think you need to do for yourself
Mhm.
to the side. If I was in me personally, if I was in a monogamous relationship, I got married, had 3 kids, it didn't work out, I'm gonna get another monogamous relationship, because how do I explain that to my kids? How do I explain this to 3 different women? They're not gonna just be sitting there like, yeah, I know they think these women that be in these relationships don't have no say so, because that's the way they think, but they're gonna have questions too.
Right.
They're gonna have family too. They're gonna want to know what's going on. So, bro, I don't think he definitely doesn't know, because he kept the way he started off. I didn't agree with. He said that I need to meet 3 women because I don't like in some way he's implying that he couldn't get everything he wants out of a woman. So he said that maybe 3 women could give me what I want within 1 woman.
Right.
You're going about
And
the
look,
wrong way. You can,
Bull
and
might
this is
not
where
have
I
no
say that.
women. He might not have no women right now in front of us right now. Don't have no candidates for what he wants.
Look, he
It's like a
he would
nigga
not look. Let me
fucking
tell you
out.
something. If you have options, you don't go on Kendra G.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go on Kendra G. You
Yeah.
don't go on these. You don't go this route when you have options. You don't.
Mm.
You don't even know
Like
these
that?
people even exist, because if you got the options, you're not going to be on this shit. And we're going to go into it. Like I said, the dude said he's overweight. He used to weigh 400. He's not even like he weighed 280, 300. The man weighed 400. So there were some insecurities. There were some things he probably had to endure. There was more of a toleration. He probably, like I said, with women. But I think it's more extreme with women only because they operate in emotions. But yes, men go
Mm.
through the same drawbacks as women when it comes to physical things, thoughts, decisions, efforts, integrity, how they want things to be, like how they explain it. I can tell like he talks like a fat guy.
Hmm.
Now that he lost weight, this is what, with late bloomers, it could be kind of critical, because people that used to be fat and people that used to be unattractive, when they get older, you think they got over those traumas they dealt with in school? When women grow up being unattractive or overweight, and guys, they noticed a big difference in how women were treated. Oh, this girl's getting treated way better than me. I get picked on every day. And when it starts getting to a point where kids are being fast asses, oh, they only wanted me for head. I'm a big girl, or I'm not attractive. They just made fun of me, pranked me, made me look dumb. You think if they become attractive later in life, they just go forget that background? No, those women are more deceptive. They're more prone to do things fucked up. They're more prone to cheat. Go look up the psychology of these people that had to endure things and when they were in high school and stuff. They have that's a trauma to kids. I don't even date
Oh, trust me.
yeah, you don't I
I
hate to
know.
say it. I hate to say it, but it is a thing.
Right.
These late bloomers, it it comes with something, especially with women. But that's
Almost
it.
like the dudes that don't get no buns in school.
Oh, get the.
All right. Let me go ahead and resume. Let's get back to it.
And I would say this, and if he agreed with your mindset, then he would be Future. He would be Drake. He would be a person without a wife and plenty of women. And that's just a fact.
Well, let me, and again, Kendra. Oh, Kendra, can I?
Let me before. See, now she compared him to Future. Future's reckless. This man ain't talking reckless like that. He's not saying that he wants to be a reckless man out here. Now, and again, I think that Black American men are ready for polyamorous relationships? The answer, in my opinion, is no. But again, why would you compare him to Future and Future is being reckless out here? I think he has 9 kids or 10 kids by 8 different women. I don't even know. The dude's doing the same thing. NBA YoungBoy, that's another one. 10 kids, I think 11 kids by 10 different women. That's being reckless. I don't hear that from him. But let's go ahead and continue.
Can I add this too? I want to also tell you that, Kendra, I love you, and
Go ahead, bro. Sorry.
I wanted to say, like, if this is the trap that Kendra, if I, like, hypothetically, if I try to get on this show and I said the poly thing as like part of a preference that I wanted, and she started giving me all these situations that with celebrities and stuff like that, I would say, look, I understand how you feel. I watched the show before. I don't think you really like this concept for men. So this is what I want. I'm on here to date, and I'll be able to get into more detail for the women that are interested. I'm not taking away monogamy out the window. He never said he didn't want to take. He said that in his own words. He said that, if he can't get what he wants out of one woman, he's going to talk to multiple women, in his own way of saying it.
Right.
So I would check her on that, because you can tell that it's all personal when it comes to the way she's coming at this guy now. She
Upcoming
even tried to stop
violation.
herself at the
14
beginning,
hour
but
workday
now she
limit.
forgot that she tried to
11
prevent
hour
herself
driving
for
limit.
interjecting and questioning him. Now she let her emotions just run wild, and now it won't be a thing because now it's going to. If we're talking about these celebrities and these dynamics, and she said it's a fact that if he didn't have that Beyonce, that he would be those men. That's not a fact.
Right.
And you see the
There's a lot of
time
men that have the options
He
that.
kind of wasn't.
No,
in the
hold
first 20
on.
minutes.
He wasn't that
Hold
nigga
on,
Men
hold
that
on.
before,
have
or else he have a
options.
bunch of babies out here.
Hold on, Skinny. Skinny. I'm gonna give you your time, bro. Let the brother finish what he got to say, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
sir.
a lot of men that have these options and they're not being reckless. There's a lot of men that have discipline. There's a lot of men that can be out there doing these things, but they're just looking for someone that's healthy for them. So I think Kendra has a skewed way of how she feels about men. I think she thinks men put themselves in positions or get these power positions to take advantage of like some natural way of thinking that most men can't do because they don't have the funds to do it. And that's not the case. I know a lot of men that could get a lot of women, they have a lot of money, but they're not like that. They're not out there. They're monogamous. I know men. They will say, "Hey, I would talk to, but that's not what I'm on. I feel more fulfilled talking to one woman." And I know they could talk to a lot of women. So her, like Kendra, is this is where I said to you, Slim. There's a limitation with her. Like I feel like she's getting it. I think that she's starting to see a repetitive way of thinking from women. And I don't know why she doesn't point it out. It's rare when she does it, like when she'll go on live and just talk about what women do, and she should talk about that more. But there's going to be a limit because of her traumas and her ideology with men anyway. So in one moment it feels like, okay, she's getting tired of it. The next moment she's going right into the same mode and thought process that we see with these women nowadays anyway. If they don't like something, you're going to do everything to tear it down. But that's it.
What were you gonna say, Skinny?
Ah, I think I was gonna say that Jay-Z wasn't that type of dude anywhere else. He have a bunch of babies out here. Like Future got a bunch of babies out here. A lot of dudes got more discipline with their penis than what women give us credit for, or even what a lot of dudes give us credit for. Like to even go, he would be one of those dudes. Just because the nigga got money don't mean that he wanna let his perverted ways mess up his money. Everybody ain't into messing up their bag by having babies and all that type of stuff either.
Right.
That's all I wanted to say.
There was something else I was gonna say, man, but I forgot. But it'll come back to me. But let's go ahead and continue.
And because I love you, your content and what you provided when I was going through that divorce, it was hard. But seeing your show, seeing your spirit, I knew God was still here. And that's what made me push. Because again, I was 400 pounds and I lost 170 pounds in 20 months. And if you go on my social media and stuff, I showed it like I was fat as fuck. Like, and I had to take accountability. And once I took accountability, my life changed. So I want to thank you for that. And I'm very appreciative of your show. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Let me say something real quick because I know Real wants to say something about the weight, but I honestly believe that maybe and I could be wrong. I believe that because he lost all that weight, he has gotten very cocky, and now I'm just gonna just assume that he's probably pulling a lot of women because he probably wasn't pulling that many women when he was that big. So I believe that he's very cocky because he did come on the show a little bit cocky, just a little bit. But go, Real, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Like, I do believe he came off a little more like, I lost weight. This is who I am. I do think there's some foundation to the things that he said, but I don't think that based off of how he's told his story, that his wife appreciated him, and I think a lot of it had to do with like the fact that he was a bigger guy, and I think that he feels like that's probably one of the major reasons why it didn't work out. And I think that there is a stigma that big guys know their lane when it comes to women. They know they pretty much lead with money. You heard it, he said money a lot during the whole thing. Make this money, I make money, I make money. A lot of big guys, they know that that's one thing they got to come with. They'll lead with that money thing. And I don't know if he got therapy, because I do believe if you lost weight, you should also be going to therapy, because like I said, there's still a trauma behind being overweight. And when I've trained with overweight people and they've told me about their past and grown up, it's always the same thing. They probably was the funny guy, but he got picked on. Girls never took him serious. Their confidence is very low. Now, I can still tell he's pretty big, because losing 400 pounds and he only lost 127 pounds, he's still a pretty big guy. And once you get past 350, I think, your body starts stretching in a way where when you do lose weight, it's not going to be as elastically coming back together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's probably going with the simple fact that he's going to have a lot of looser skin, and he might have to take extra precautions if he wants to. But there's some insecurities here, and I do feel like, again, I think he's going about it. I think he should continue to be monogamous. I think he will. I think if he would have came on and just, my advice to him would have been that, hey, you should have just spoken monogamy. Because I know if he's talking to a man and he has a one-on-one, he's probably going to be more honest about his insecurities. That's how it normally is with men. We pretty much will talk about things we need to work on and we struggle with, because it won't be no judgment, because we know how it is.
Right.
But him and Kendra, this is my thing. I would never recommend any heterosexual guy that's bare minimum. He has a car, house, and job. He's doing decent financially. I would never recommend him to go on a show where a woman is the host for dating. Never do that. I don't care how traditional she is. I don't care if she is the quote unquote woman that I think men should be talking to. No, you never get any dating advice, any psychological advice, any emotional advice from women. You never get it. Therapy, no. Because even with that, it's going to be very rare if you find someone that's going to actually be able to communicate in a way where she's going to understand you.
Right.
And I don't think many women that understand men are in positions like that. I don't think a woman that's a well-rounded woman that understands a man, that champions a man, is in those type of positions. They won't work in a position like that. But yeah, man. I feel like he has a lot of good qualities about him when it comes to the fact that he lost that amount of weight in over a year, like a year and a half, almost 2 years. That's a good thing. The fact that he has his finances in order, the fact that he knows how to make money even when he's not working 9 to 5, he still knows how to have a residual income coming in. The fact that he's structured, but that insecurity, I think he needs to get some professional advice.
Right.
Because you're going on a whole tangent about a dynamic with celebrities with Kendra, and you're trying to make your point make sense to her, and you should have known off the bat that it's not going to make sense to her. So you should have disengaged from that type of conversation. Hey, look, I don't want to talk. I don't want to go into this whole. Even though he was the one that brought up Beyonce and Jay-Z, I forgot he did that. He was the one that brought it up, but
yeah.
But that's all. What's up, sweet?
Let's go ahead and continue.
I appreciate that. I don't mind this dialogue. I think it's a teachable moment for all. And I think there's a lot of, listen, I'm not here to talk about your bank account, but have you ever touched $1 million in your life?
I never had it physically, but working will make it 100,000 for the last 10 years. Yeah,
No,
I've made 100.
And I know that, but I'm saying, have you ever had $1 million plus in your bank account at one time?
Why did she even ask that? Where did that come from? Go ahead, real.
Because he brought up Beyonce and Jay-Z. This is the deceptive. I can't even get the word. This is the deceitfulness of women like Kendra G. Now she's trying to little boy him. So what she's gonna do after she does that? Look what she does. She's gonna go into, well, I have. She's gonna let her know, hey, well, I have $1 million in my account. She's little boying him. This is the way women try to dominate men. This is her way of trying to butt break a man. Now she's gonna watch what she does. She's asking him about $1 million and watch what she says to him afterwards. I didn't like that at all.
And that's crazy. I heard her and I was wondering like, who cares that you? But let's go ahead and continue. Y'all gonna be able to catch it because he caught it.
No.
Nope.
Okay, fair enough. So I just say that I see a lot of conversation with people always speaking about men in that category, but they've never experienced that. That is my reality. That is my world. And one thing I have learned, a lot of times those men have so much to lose. They're not always a man with a mind in his head. He's not always just out here with women because he has so much to lose. You just can't sleep with anybody when you have so much money. You could lose it all. She could claim rape.
I got
You
you.
see what Diddy's going through? He's actually the guy that you described. Diddy's the one.
What? Oh my goodness. We back with it. Go ahead, real. Go ahead, bro.
Do you see what she just did? She's
Yeah.
saying, "This is my. You never had this money. This is my reality." And I'm telling you, I'm also around these men, and they're not going to do what you. They're not going to be doing this and doing that because they're so busy and they accomplish something that they're not willing to just risk. Well, we see if we're talking about the celebrity world, we see that happen all the time. We see these celebrity men get caught up all the time and hear about it. It's not just P. Diddy. You hear every other day about some chick claiming a guy slept with them, they're pregnant, this, and that, all the time. And we're talking about that side of like the careers, the social media side. I think that she's the media, the mainstream media side. Those guys are getting caught up all the time. Everybody's fucking everybody in mainstream media. So what she's trying to do now, because he brought up celebrities and she tried to make that a thing more than he's just trying to point out the fact that he's looking for a well-rounded woman. That's what I thought he meant. When he brought up Beyonce, I think most men would say, oh, she's a well-rounded woman. So Kendra took it upon herself to make it more like we're really talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z, like this is a real thing.
Right.
Like she's making it more like this is a real life situation where we're trying to argue, where we're trying to go back and forth about their relationship. Well, I'm gonna let you know, I'm actually a millionaire and I'm around these millionaires. So I'm letting you know you don't know what you're talking about. And that wasn't even his point. He's looking for a well-rounded woman. Like Beyonce. I guess that's it, this is America I use. But I don't think that he really was trying to get that detailed or that go that far deep into the real dynamics of Jay-Z and Beyonce. So now she's bringing up P. Diddy.
Right.
It's just ridiculous with this woman. This is where I cut it off because when they started going, I said I can't listen to this no more.
Well, brothers, let's go ahead and continue. We got a long way to go. I don't even know if I'm gonna even go through this whole thing anyway, but let's continue.
He's the one that always showed up with the beautiful girl. And right now, Diddy is being accused of all different type of sexual activities. Now, if he had a Beyonce, he wouldn't have to worry about those things. So I just
What? If he had what does that even mean? And didn't Jay-Z sleep with somebody else allegedly? So what is she talking about? This is what I'm saying. I think women just talk. This is why I say a lot. Let me say this, brothers. Sometimes I've already said this already, and I'm gonna always say it. When the woman talks and she just talks and talks and talks, she contradicts herself, and half of the time they don't even know what they're talking about. She's in a celebrity world, and she's saying that if Diddy had a Beyonce, he wouldn't be going through all this nonsense. Didn't Jay-Z go through some nonsense with
Yep. That's what they be talking about. Rihanna cheating on her. Rihanna got another kid by somebody. I don't know. He definitely. This is what the women say. He definitely cheated on her a lot.
And this is the problem with a lot of black people because, brothers, and it's been going on for years, for decades. Average black men and women always look up to celebrities like they are like what Obamas. They're the number one black celebrities. Like everybody wants to be like the Obamas. Everybody wants to be like Jay Z and Beyonce. At one time, everybody wanted to be a Jada and Will Smith before all that bullshit went down the drain. So we got to stop looking up to celebrities. But that's what she's doing. But she's part of the beehive anyway. So she's going to protect Beyonce, which most women do. So brothers, if you don't talk about Beyonce in public, because you might get stung. But let's continue.
I just think that when you talk about Beyonce, be clear in
Hold
what
on.
you're talking about. She's not an average woman. And that's just
Kendra, hold on. Wait, Kendra, man. Cause you gonna have a beehive getting on
I'm
me,
not having a
Kendra.
beehive, but what I think is the problem is y'all speak so much about a life y'all don't even know.
Oh,
And I mean, it's just the fact. That's why, I went low. I just said 1 million. I ain't go to 10 million, 5
oh,
million.
Kendra,
I
why
just
you
went
gotta
to a
slap me
million.
like that? You gotta
I mean,
slap me like that. Oh,
I'm not trying. Listen, I'm not trying. And I'm really, hold on. Here's the deal. I'm really not trying to snap at you because I'm enjoying this conversation.
me too.
But what I'm trying to educate is, yes, there's millionaires like Future. I'm just going to use celebrities because we know what we're talking about, right? But there's plenty of millionaires, like you said, you described, Diddy, Drake, Future. We can name so many people that have plenty of women and never have wives. And we can challenge who we think is more successful, and who is a better man. I just think that when you try to say Beyonce as an average girl, you kind of lost me there. But
I
let's
ne-
stay
look.
focused.
See,
Let's
no,
stay.
The brother never said that Beyonce is an average girl. This is what I don't see. She, oh my goodness, she is just adding things that this brother never said. She used the word high value, but brother never used high value. So let me tell you something, brother. A lot of these women have an imagination. If y'all, I'm 46, so I know some of you probably know about the Muppet Babies. That's how a lot of these women are. They have an imagination. They just throw things out that the brother never said. And the thing is, she can play all this back because it's recorded. So she can play this back and be like, and somebody can be like, well, I didn't say that. But let's go ahead and continue because I know the brother's about to well, I ain't going to say get her, but he's going to have to try to correct her.
Let's
no,
stay focused. Let's
Kendra,
stay focused.
we gotta clear that up. I can't
Yeah.
let you do that because you making straw mans and saying stuff I didn't say. I didn't say Beyonce was an
Okay,
average
well, clear up
woman.
if I misunderstood you. I will give you
Okay.
that, and then we'll keep going.
We gotta walk this back, Kendra. Okay, now look. What I'm telling you was Jay-Z was gonna be a billionaire with or without Beyonce. Jay-Z actually wanted Aaliyah. Okay, Beyonce wouldn't be who she was if Aaliyah didn't pass away. Well, let's just keep that 100 because Aaliyah can outsing
Where the hell is he get? Let me go ahead and continue. I'm sorry. Let's continue.
No,
Beyonce.
no,
She
no,
was
no. This
better
is
in
why
all.
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead,
The
bro.
fact that this grown man is trying to talk about the Jay-Z's whole past relationship is weird. This is why men need to stay out of this stuff. If we know something, yeah, we usually hear it from women or social media, but we're not invested. The fact that this man's invested like that, and it's
Right.
kind of disrespectful that he's going to say she wouldn't be nothing. It's just like you're look, and the fact that he said beehive, I don't even know what that means. The beehives, and look, man, he's a little too effeminate, and he say he grew up for man, but look, when your woman comes to you about this social media bullshit, you entertain it, but you never get that deep into it. Now you're going into talking about a man that's married to a woman, and you're talking about where she would be, and regarding a woman that passed away.
Right.
Like, you're saying I'm going to clarify, but it seems like you're making it worse.
That is true.
Now, this is what happens